What's going on, guys? I have a new channel partner, Exotek. They make excellent slipper clutch deletes. And those that watch my channel have seen me run an Exotek slipper clutch delete in this Traxxas Bandit. This thing goes over 100 miles an hour on 3S. And the only way I was able to do that is running much taller gearing. And to run smaller spur gears, I needed a slipper clutch delete. I'll go into more detail later, but we're gonna go ahead today and do an install video on how you install the Exotek slipper clutch delete I have here. Now this one lets you run the stock Traxxas gearing, or you can also run hot racing gearing. I'm gonna go ahead and install a hot racing gear in my Traxxas Rustler here. It's a hot racing spur gear. So the 1939 kit here allows you to run the Traxxas gears. The 1940 kit, which I have here, and is what I run in the Bandit, allows you to run Kimbrough gears. Now these kits have been extremely reliable, they're lightweight, and really I have no complaints on this kit I've run now for about 2 years. They only cost, they're like $15 to $20, so give you a lot of gearing options, and let me go ahead and get started with the install. Again, here's the 1939 kit here that allows you to run the stock Traxxas gearing. So in the two-wheel drive Traxxas cars, they come with 48 pitch gears. Here's the stock 72 tooth spur gear that came in my Traxxas Bandit. The Rustler has an 83 tooth. You can also run these hot racing gears as well. So again, I've been running 48 pitch here. And then the other kit, which I have in my Bandit, is the one that allows you to run Kimbrough spur gears. So these plastic spur gears are very nice. I run 32 pitch. You can also run 48 pitch. But very similar kits here. The installation process is the same. I already did a video on the kit here for the Kimbrough gears. Again, today I'll be focusing on the kit here for the Traxxas style gears. So let's go ahead and get this opened up, and I'll show you what the kit includes. So in the kit, you get the slipper clutch assembly, and that's all it is. There's 3 screws that hold the spur gear in place, and then it fits on the shaft with the pin that goes through the center of the slipper delete assembly. And as you can see here, you just use the stock pin, the stock nut, and it's a real easy installation process. So let's go ahead and we'll install this on my Traxxas Rustler. So you're gonna need a 2mm hex driver or hex key, and we're gonna go ahead and pop off the gear cover here. So what we need to do is go ahead and remove these 3 nuts. My eyes are actually not that good anymore, and they're actually hex screws. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my 2.5mm hex driver here, and we'll go ahead and remove these 3 hex screws. Now when you're working on your RCs, it's important to have a good set of hex drivers, and I'm using these Shergo units here, a kit of 4 different sizes, 1.5 to 3mm, and they're less than $15. So getting a set of these will save you a lot of headaches and make removal projects like this a lot easier. Now we're going to go ahead and take a 7mm socket, or you could use one of your RC kits that come, the spin wrenches that come with your kits. And we're just going to go ahead and unscrew the bolt here that tightens down the slipper clutch. Okay, and then you pull the nut and the spring off, and then this whole assembly will just slide out. And there we go. You can see the stock unit mounts using the same pin that the Exotek unit will use. So as I mentioned before, you could use one of these stock Traxxas gear sets if you want. Or what I'm gonna do is go ahead and use this Hot Racing 72 tooth spur gear. I don't recommend these gears. This one's not perfectly round, but I'm doing a speed run series with this Rustler, and this is 72 teeth versus my smallest Traxxas is 76 teeth. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this, but I'm not a big fan of these. So I'm gonna go ahead now and screw the Hot Racing spur gear onto the Exotek slipper clutch delete. So we just slide the slipper clutch delete in there like that. And then we can go ahead and put the 3 screws in place. And then with a 2mm hex driver, I'm gonna go ahead and snug these down. There we go, all 3 of these are snug down. And now I'm going to line up the slot here with the pin. Make sure it's fully seated on there. Then I'm going to go ahead and thread the stock nut back on here and then tighten it down until it seats snugly against the slipper assembly. Okay, and there we go. You can see the Exotek slipper clutch delete is installed. Now I just have to go ahead. I'm going to mount a bigger pinion because I'm going with a Speedrun setup. And that's the beautiful thing about going with a smaller spur gear. You then run a bigger pinion to make your gearing taller. But you can run whatever gearing is best for, how you choose to run your RC car. So to remove the pinion, I'm just going to use this 1.5mm hex driver. All right, I was having a really tough time here. The pinion gear, the grub screw was stripped. What I did is I ground that out with a rotary tool, and it took 3 or 4 minutes. But as you can see here, I did not damage the motor shaft. And I'm gonna move on now, reinstall the slipper delete, and continue with this installation video. But if you get stuck and your motor's in the car and the pinion's mounted with the grub screw on the outside, like mine was, that is probably a good solution. It worked really well for me. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and line up my pinion gear with the spur gear here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the gear mesh using the slider here on the motor. All right, I think that's gonna work. There we go, that's how you install the Exotek slipper clutch Eliminator kit 1939, running either the stock Traxxas spur gear or an aftermarket one like I have here with this Hot Racing unit. So if you have any questions, please let me know.